Ethically, it looks wrong. But what about legally?
It is wrong. It is a
Legally as well.
Yes, because in the Constitution, and that is why we always say, read the Constitution, all of it, the whole Constitution. We introduced in the founding values the need to avoid conflict of interest. We actually use that term in the Constitution. It actually says that you must avoid conflict of interest. So you are going to have a parliament that is going to personally benefit, deciding whether the amendment should pass or not. And then you are going to have a president who is the direct beneficiary, materially, politically, of this amendment, deciding to assent it or not to assent to it. That is wrong, because that's where Minister Yambi and his colleagues want us to end. But we had foreseen that conflict of interest that may arise. So we then put in the mechanism of the mechanism of the referendum. That's why the referendum is there. Now, if you take off the referendum, number one, you have taken away the right of the Zimbabweans to vote. Number two, you have violated the sovereignty principle, which is at the beginning of the Constitution. Remember, at the beginning of the Constitution, we introduced a concept that is the sovereignty of the people, the right of the people of Zimbabwe to determine who runs their affairs, including to determine who the president is. Now, that is going to be taken away. And we are going to take away the right of Zimbabweans to decide whether to take away that right or not.
What about the argument that parliamentarians are voted in by the electorate and they can therefore make decisions for the electorate? I think this is part of the government logic.
It is a very flawed reasoning, with due respect. Because let's face it, how many people voted in 2023 for President Mnangagwa? I think 2.2, if I'm not mistaken. And we had 2.6 million registered voters who did not vote in 2023. And we had people who voted against this government and so on. So the current government, the current MPs, do not represent the majority of Zimbabweans. They represent a minority. And at any rate, they cannot be the ones to propose, to initiate, propose, adopt, and implement. That is a serious conflict of interest. It has to be the people of Zimbabwe.